I told the man I loved that his job was low-paying and pointless. A week later, he quit. And then he quit me too. I'm Sarah. I'm 29, and for almost 4 years, I thought I had the perfect relationship. Tom wasn't flashy, he wasn't rich, but he was steady. He was the kind of man who'd wake up early on Sunday to make you pancakes, the kind who'd notice when your car's brakes felt off and fix them before you even asked. He worked as a mechanic at a small garage in town, the same one he'd started at when he was 19. When we first met, I loved how proud he was of his work. He'd come home with grease on his hands, telling me stories about helping people get back on the road. He knew everyone in the neighborhood by name. It was humble, honest work. But over time, something in me changed. Maybe it was seeing my friends' boyfriends buying them expensive gifts or whisking them away on weekend trips. Maybe it was scrolling through Instagram and watching couples in matching outfits, drinking cocktails in rooftop bars. Or maybe it was just me, restless, wanting more, thinking that love wasn't enough without the kind of lifestyle I thought we deserved. At first, I kept my feelings to myself. I told myself not to be shallow, but little thoughts crept in about the way his paycheck barely covered his share of the bills, about the vacations we couldn't take, about the wedding I didn't know if we could afford. I started dropping hints. Have you ever thought about applying somewhere bigger? You'd be great at managing a team. But he'd just smile and say, I like it here. It's honest work. I'm happy. The more he said it, the more it frustrated me. Happy didn't feel like enough. Happy didn't pay for a better apartment or a honeymoon in Greece. One Friday night, we were eating takeout on the couch. I'd just gotten off a call with a friend whose fiancé had surprised her with tickets to Italy. She was gushing about the trip, the hotel, the 5-star everything. When I hung up, I looked around our little apartment, the worn couch, the peeling paint on the windowsill, and something in me snapped. Tom was telling me about a funny thing that happened at work, but I wasn't really listening. My mind was somewhere else, counting the things we didn't have. And before I could stop myself, the words tumbled out. Your job is low-paying and pointless. You need to aim higher. The room went quiet. He didn't blink, didn't move. He just set his fork down on the coffee table. I thought you were proud of me, he said, his voice so soft I almost didn't hear it. My stomach twisted. I tried to backpedal, saying I didn't mean it like that I just wanted him to see his potential. But the words were already out there, heavy, sharp, impossible to take back. He didn't argue. He didn't yell. He just went quiet, finished his meal in silence, and told me he was going to bed early. The next few days felt different. Tom still kissed me goodbye in the mornings, but it was quick, distracted. At night, I'd find him on his laptop, scrolling through job listings. He didn't ask for my opinion. He didn't tell me what he was applying for. Part of me thought maybe this was a good thing. Maybe I'd lit a fire under him. But another part of me felt uneasy. His eyes didn't light up when he talked to me anymore. Our conversations were short, polite, like two people sharing a space, but not a life. 1 week after I made that comment, he came home from work early. He looked tired, but there was something else in his face, a kind of decision. I quit today, he said. Just like that. No build-up. I couldn't do it anymore. Not after knowing you think so little of it. I opened my mouth to explain, to tell him that wasn't the whole truth, but he kept going. I've been thinking, maybe this isn't just about my job. Maybe you don't value me the way I am. And if that's the case, then no new job is going to fix it. My chest tightened. That's not fair. I love you. Do you? Or do you love the version of me that makes more money and ticks more boxes? I didn't know what to say. I'd never heard him sound so calm and so final at the same time. He reached into his pocket, pulled out the key to our apartment, and set it on the table. I'm going to stay with my brother for a while. I need space. And honestly, I think you do too. I stood there, frozen, as he packed a small bag and walked out the door. That night, I sat on the couch staring at the empty space where his shoes usually sat. I thought about the first time I saw him, in that oil-stained uniform, laughing with his coworkers. I thought about how proud he'd been to tell me he fixed cars for a living, and I thought about how I'd taken that pride and crushed it under the weight of my own expectations. The next morning, I texted him, "I'm sorry, I was wrong. Please come home." He didn't reply. Later that day, he called. His voice was steady, but there was a distance in it that hadn't been there before. "I've thought about it, Sarah. I don't think we're right for each other anymore." And just like that, it was over. No big fight, no screaming. Just a quiet, clean break that left me gasping for air. In the weeks that followed, I kept replaying that moment in my head. The exact tone of my voice when I said those words, the way his eyes clouded over. I told myself I was only trying to help him, but the truth was uglier. I measured his worth in paychecks, in potential promotions, in all the things he could be instead of who he already was. I'd confused ambition with love. I'd mistaken comfort for complacency. And in the process, I'd pushed away the only man who ever truly showed up for me without conditions. A month later, I walked past the garage where he used to work. There was a new guy in his spot, wiping his hands on a rag, laughing with a customer. For a moment, I could almost see Tom there again, looking up to smile at me the way he used to. But he wasn't, and he never would be. I thought I was pushing him forward. All I did was push him away. And now the only pointless thing is wishing I could take it back.